Tim Allen, well known for his unvarnished humor and conservative views, has sparked debates in Hollywood once more. In a recent stand-up show, Allen used his trademark wit to challenge established conventions while aiming for the woke mentality of the business. In addition to striking a chord with his devoted followers, this audacious decision has generated discussions on social media. Allen's unreserved style offers a thought-provoking reflection on the entertainment industry's status as Hollywood struggles with political correctness and free expression. Come along as we examine the specifics of his most recent performance and its potential effects on the industry's future. Early life and struggles. Born Timothy Allen Dick in Denver, Colorado on June 13, 1953, Tim Allen had a turbulent upbringing influenced by personal tragedy. When Allen was just 11 years old, his father, a real estate agent, sadly lost his life in a drunk driver's vehicle accident. His mother had to relocate the family to Michigan and get married again after the tragic incident rocked his world. Allen had social and academic difficulties adapting to a new family dynamic with step-siblings, but he turned to comedy for comfort, utilizing it as a coping method for his problems. However, he had a troubled early adulthood. He was arrested for heroin trafficking in 1978 and sentenced to 28 months in prison. He came to the critical insight that he needed to make a change in his life when he was serving time. Allen, determined to change his story, resorted to comedy and developed his skills in Detroit's stand-up scene. He would soon become a rising celebrity in showbiz thanks to his bitter past and witty observational humor. Breakthrough with stand-up. Allen began performing at Detroit's Comedy Castle in the 1980s, which marked the beginning of his stand-up career. Audiences responded well to his comedy, which primarily centered on the distinctions between men and women. His well-known routine, Men Are Pigs, ridiculed masculine inclinations by emphasizing their fixation with sports, power equipment, and relationship ineptitude. Due to its popularity among comedy lovers, this act was featured on several well-known late-night shows. His appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, a fantasy for all budding comedians, was a turning point in his career. In the comedy industry, Carson's endorsement was a gold ticket, and Allen took advantage of this to become well-known nationwide. He had a large following because of his ability to combine relatable information, storytelling, and sarcasm. Hollywood quickly took note, and Allen moved from stand-up to television, where he would become well-known. Home improvement fame. Allen became well-known after landing the lead in the sitcom Home Improvement in 1991. The program focused on Tim the Toolman Taylor, a charming but awkward television host who frequently got into hilarious power tool disasters. His distinctive grunts and slogans, including "more power" and "I don't think so, Tim," infiltrated popular culture. The sitcom was one of the highest-rated programs in the 1990s because of its successful fusion of slapstick humor and touching family moments. The sitcom gained depth via Allen's encounters with the enigmatic, astute neighbor Wilson and his on-screen relationship with co-star Patricia Richardson. Home Improvement was the most popular show on primetime television during its height, garnering Allen a Golden Globe and placing him among the most paid TV actors. Beyond entertainment, the program mirrored Allen's genuine love of vehicles and tools, strengthening his appeal to blue-collar workers. Decades later, the show is still a beloved classic. Toy Story Legacy. When Allen narrated Buzz Lightyear in Pixar's Toy Story in 1995, his career took another turn. Buzz's exaggerated bravado and slogan, "To Infinity and Beyond," were an excellent fit for the position. Allen's hilarious approach was reflected in his humorous self-delusion. Being the first full-length computer-generated imagery film and a huge box office hit, the movie transformed animation. The camaraderie between Buzz and Woody won over audiences, and Allen's passionate portrayal gave the role more nuance. Due to the franchise's success, Buzz Lightyear became one of the most adored cartoon characters in history, with each of the several sequels. Alan was already well known in television, but Toy Story gave him access to a new audience. His career grew beyond comedy due to the part that demonstrated his ability to give character humor and heart. Fans still view Alan as the ultimate Buzz, even in light of the controversy surrounding Lightyear's 2022 substitution of Chris Evans for him. Legal troubles and redemption. His past could have easily ruined Tim Allen's future. He was found in possession of more than a pound of cocaine at an airport in Michigan in 1978. After cooperating with investigators, he was spared a life sentence and was only sentenced to 28 months in federal prison. He was forced to face his shortcomings due to this low point, and he came out of prison and resolved to change his ways. With fresh vigor, he continued stand-up comedy, drawing inspiration for his routines from his experiences. Alan has been refreshingly honest about his past, frequently making self-deprecating jokes, unlike many celebrities who conceal their complicated pasts. His redemption story has inspired many, demonstrating that even the most fallen can get back up. Alan has also assisted others who have battled addiction and legal troubles over the years by participating in recovery programs and second chance initiatives. One of Hollywood's most captivating comeback tales is his journey from prisoner to adored actor. Return to TV with Last Man Standing. Tim Allen's eagerly awaited comeback to television in 2011 was Last Man Standing, a program that reflected his ideals. Allen's portrayal of Mike Baxter, a conservative family man who owns a sports goods store, gave network television a distinctive voice that wasn't scared to question contemporary political correctness. The program playfully addressed gender roles, traditional family values, and the widening political rift in the United States. However, despite the series' high ratings, ABC abruptly canceled it in 2017 after 6 successful seasons. Supporters were furious, believing that the decision was influenced by political bias. Viewers demanded the reinstatement of the show on social media. Their perseverance paid off as Fox brought Last Man Standing back to life in 2018, demonstrating Allen's continued popularity. The program ran for 3 more seasons until finishing in 2021, continuing its strong run. For viewers who felt marginalized by Hollywood's increasingly progressive ideology, the rebirth was more than just a victory for Allen. Box office success. Tim Allen made the shift from television to film seem easy, whereas many performers find it difficult. Allen's popularity at the film office extends well beyond Pixar, but his performance as Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story alone would have solidified his Hollywood reputation. The 1994 original became an immediate Christmas classic when he starred in the Santa Claus trilogy. Families continue to assemble decades later to witness his transition from a typical businessman to a cheerful Santa Claus. His humorous and heartfelt parody of Star Trek, Galaxy Quest, became a cult favorite. Allen has demonstrated his ability to direct ensemble casts by co-starring with William H. Macy, Martin Lawrence, and John Travolta in the unexpected 2007 successful film Wild Hogs, about middle-aged men rediscovering their spirit of adventure. Allen's charm and comedic timing made him a box office juggernaut, whether starring in buddy comedy, family-friendly movies, or animation. In a field that frequently fails to achieve widespread appeal, his ability to connect with audiences of all ages remains a significant asset. Personal life and relationships. Despite the ups and downs of his personal life, Tim Allen's commitment to his family has remained steadfast. From 1984 until 2003, he married Laura Diebel, with whom he had a daughter named Catherine. Allen has always praised Diebel and given her credit for helping him through his early career setbacks, even though their relationship ultimately ended in divorce. Actress Jane Hayduke and Allen fell in love once more in 2006. The couple welcomed their baby, Elizabeth, after getting married in a small ceremony in Colorado. Allen and Hayduke have remained close, frequently making infrequent public appearances together. in contrast to many Hollywood marriages that end due to celebrity demands. Allen has prioritized parenthood despite his hectic schedule, often expressing how fatherhood has changed his outlook on life. Allen takes excellent satisfaction in being involved with his family, demonstrating that success in Hollywood doesn't have to come at the expense of family, in contrast to his on-screen characters who frequently struggle with parenting. The buzz around woke Hollywood. Never one to back down from controversy, Tim Allen has been outspoken in recent years about his contempt for what he calls woke Hollywood, accusing the industry of putting political correctness ahead of artistic freedom and making comedians and filmmakers tread carefully for fear of criticism. He's quipped in interviews that he longs for when humor didn't hesitate to push the envelope. His candor has not been without repercussions. Allen was conspicuously missing from the cast of Disney's Toy Story's spin-off Lightyear, which Chris Evans unveiled. Supporters conjectured that Allen's conservative beliefs contributed to the choice, igniting discussions about whether Hollywood was purposefully excluding him. Allen has redoubled his efforts to defy the industry's push for a more progressive agenda. One thing is sure, regardless of your opinion of him, Allen isn't scared to question Hollywood's established order, and his uncompromising approach has made him both a hero and a target in the entertainment industry. Tim Allen's net worth. Tim Allen has established an empire beyond acting during his over 40-year career. He's received some of the highest salaries in Hollywood from projects like Home Improvement and Toy Story. One of the most significant salaries for a TV actor at the time, Allen earned $1.25 million per episode at the height of Home Improvement. His movies have made billions of dollars between them, especially the Toy Story and Santa Claus franchise. Allen, however, is a shrewd businessman and an actor. Due to his passion for automobiles, he amassed a sizable collection that included everything from luxury sports cars to vintage muscle cars. He's also dabbled in voice acting, advertisements, and product endorsements to increase his fortune further. According to current estimates, Allen's net worth is over $100 million. Despite his fame, he's still surprisingly grounded, frequently joking about how his earning hardships have kept him modest. Allen has created something enduring in a Hollywood environment full of ephemeral celebrity. The Last Man Standing controversy. Fans were incensed when ABC abruptly terminated Last Man Standing in 2017 despite the show's high ratings. Since Tim Allen's conservative character, Mike Baxter, frequently addressed contentious subjects with wit and unreserved candor, many people thought the choice was politically motivated. The cancellation heightened the speculation that Hollywood was stifling opinions that didn't support its progressive agenda. ABC, however, insisted that it was a commercial choice rather than a political one and gave financial justifications. However, these speculations grew more intense when Fox brought the show back in 2018. Given that Fox recognized the unmet demand for entertainment that deviated from Hollywood's left-leaning status quo, the network's choice to revive Last Man Standing was viewed as an apparent response to cancel culture. Allen has admitted to the controversy, saying that although he is unsure of the actual cause of the show's original cancellation, the experience confirmed his suspicion that Hollywood is becoming more and more intolerant of different points of view. The show's successful comeback was a massive win for Allen and his devoted audience. Tim Allen's influence on comedy. In addition to being a well-known TV and movie star, Tim Allen is a pioneer of stand-up comedy whose impact continues today. Allen developed his comedic skills in the 1980s, doing observational stand-ups that appealed to middle-class Americans long before Home Improvement made him a household celebrity. His distinctive approach made a new generation of comedians possible by combining self-deprecating comedy with perceptive observations on relationships, masculinity, and daily challenges. Allen has remained loyal to his origins, unlike many comics who change to suit the newest fads. His stand-up is still approachable, demonstrating the enduring attraction of comedy based on actual events. Allen is credited by many contemporary comedians, such as Jeff Foxworthy and Bill Engvall, for influencing their humorous approaches. His popularity also showed that humor mirrored conservative values and was in high demand by mainstream audiences, defying the notion that all humor had to adhere to Hollywood's progressive views. Allen's influence is still evident today in many comics that value authenticity over political correctness. Tim Allen's work ethic. Tim Allen's success wasn't accidental. A significant factor in his ascent to the top was his unwavering work ethic. Allen's career has been characterized by tenacity and hard effort, as he's gone from playing in little comedy clubs to being one of the highest-paid TV actors in history. He initially worked several jobs while pursuing his aspirations of becoming a stand-up comedian, frequently performing late into the night before going to work the following morning. He refused to slow down even after Home Improvement made him famous, balancing TV shows, stand-up tours, and successful movies all at once. Allen has frequently discussed the need for discipline and attributes his success in overcoming personal obstacles, such as his prior legal issues and addiction challenges, to his strong work ethic. Despite his enormous popularity, he continues to be involved in his projects, frequently helping with humorous timing and script development. Allen's ascent demonstrates that perseverance and hard work are just as crucial as skill in a field where many people rely on connections or chance. The evolution of his comedy. Tim Allen's career in comedy has not been a dull one. His early comedy mainly focused on family life, male-female relationships, and the annoyances of contemporary masculinity, subjects that resonated with viewers. His reputation as the comedian for everyone was cemented with Home Improvement, which primarily relied on his style of humor. But as he got older, his sense of humor also changed. His Last Man Standing character, Mike Baxter, adopted a more politically charged stance and satirically criticized woke ideology, generational divides, and contemporary cultural changes. However, despite his development, Allen's fundamental comedy style, sharp, perceptive, and intensely personal, has not changed. His readiness to take on topics others avoid has made him an outcast in Hollywood and a comic rebel. Even though some critics have deemed his comedy antiquated, his ongoing popularity indicates otherwise. Allen has maintained his status as one of the most durable comedians of his generation by adapting his comedy while remaining loyal to his origins, whether in stand-up, television, or movies. The Santa Claus phenomenon. Nobody anticipated that the Santa Claus would become an immediate holiday classic when it debuted in theaters in 1994, but Tim Allen's charismatic humor made it an unforgettable film. The film's deft retelling of the Santa myth, in which Allen's character unwittingly becomes Saint Nick, struck a chord with viewers of all ages. Due to its popularity, it was given a permanent spot in the Christmas film rotation, 2 sequels, and a franchise revival, The Santa Clauses, on Disney+. However, Allen's skill at striking a balance between heart and humor set the Santa Claus apart. Allen's trademark wit made Scott Calvin a character that children and adults could appreciate. Unlike traditional Christmas movies that relied entirely on emotion, the Santa Claus series is still a holiday mainstay almost 30 years later. Allen's reappearance in the Disney Plus series demonstrates that viewers continue to yearn for the same mix of warmth and humor he provided in the original. Few performers can say they are the quintessential Christmas face, but Allen has done so because of the Santa Claus. Controversial political views. Like many other Hollywood celebrities, Tim Allen has never hesitated to voice his conservative opinions. He has publicly backed Republican legislation, denounced cancel culture, and denounced what he perceives to be Hollywood's biased political environment. His vocal position has drawn criticism. Some claim he's out of touch, while others respect his resolve to stand his ground in a liberal-leaning field. Despite having high ratings, his ABC sitcom Last Man Standing was controversially canceled in 2017, which led many to believe that his political views were a factor. Fox later brought the show back, demonstrating Allen's continued popularity. Although his opinions have made him a divisive figure, they have also gained him admiration from people who believe Hollywood lacks diversity of thought. He has continued to parody contemporary political correctness in his humor, frequently mocking what he refers to as the woke agenda. Allen doesn't fit in, whether you like him or not. Struggles with addiction. Tim Allen has faced personal struggles along the way to success. He struck rock bottom before he became a Hollywood celebrity. He was caught for narcotics trafficking in 1978 and might have received a life sentence. He collaborated with authorities to have his sentence reduced, and he ended up serving a little over 2 years in prison. That encounter irrevocably altered him. Although incarceration was a difficult time in Allen's life, he later acknowledged that it made him rethink his decisions. But his troubles didn't stop there. He struggled with alcoholism during the height of his home improvement career and finally checked himself into a recovery facility in 1997. Unlike many celebrities who attempt to conceal their history, Allen has been surprisingly candid about his difficulties, using his experiences to inspire others to get assistance. His tale of salvation proves that one's worst transgressions need not determine one's destiny. He now attributes his improved performance, marriage, and fatherhood to his sobriety. His path is all the more impressive because of his perseverance. Criticism of cancel culture. Tim Allen has never held back when discussing cancel culture, one of the most contentious issues in Hollywood. He contends that it punishes individuals for opinions that might not coincide with popular narratives, inhibits creativity, and discourages candid discussion. Unlike many celebrities who avoid the topic, Allen has been outspoken and frequently incorporates his ideas into his stand-up performances. Both praise and criticism have been directed at his remarks, with fans praising his free speech advocacy and detractors calling him out of touch. Allen's position is unalterable despite the debate. He's voiced his worry that the entertainment sector is growing less accepting of other viewpoints, resulting in uninspired comedy and narrative. His opinions were even more explicit when Last Man Standing was abruptly canceled and then brought back by Fox following a fan protest. Even though some Hollywood people have turned away from him, Allen still embraces his role as a cultural disruptor. He opposes the industry's increasing tendency to muzzle views that don't fit the progressive pattern. Friendship with Tom Hanks. Tim Allen and Tom Hanks have one of Hollywood's most cherished friendships, which began with the Toy Story series. In addition to bringing to life one of the most famous friendships in animated cinema history as Buzz Lightyear and Woody's voices, their real-world bond is equally endearing. Even though they hold different political opinions, Allen is more conservative, while Hanks is more liberal, they've always respected one another. As evidence that friendships can flourish despite ideological disagreements, Allen once disclosed that they had lengthy discussions about life, family, and the industry. Allen appreciates Hanks' capacity to give emotionally stirring performances, and Hanks has frequently commended Allen's humorous timing. Their friendship was on full display throughout the Toy Story movie press tours, when their chemistry and lighthearted banter made interviews as enjoyable as the films. Allen and Hanks are a unique example of a Hollywood friendship that cuts across ideological boundaries in a time when politics frequently causes division. Stand-up comedy comeback. Despite his success in movies and television, Tim Allen has never forgotten his origins in stand-up. He's returned to the stage recently with fresh material combining astute views with first-hand accounts. His humor addresses issues many comedians avoid, such as aging, political correctness, and the evolving definition of masculinity. Allen's newer performances, which blend nostalgia with scathing societal criticism, show his development from his early routines, which mainly dealt with love and parenting. In a time when many comedians are reducing their material out of concern about adverse reactions, fans value his willingness to push limits. His comedy is still relevant today, evidenced by his live performances routinely selling out. Even younger audiences are drawn to his unreserved, humorous manner, even though they may have known him best from Toy Story. Allen's comeback to stand-up feels like a statement. He refuses to be silenced and is enjoying himself while doing so, as more comedians find it difficult to deal with cancel culture. Impact on pop culture. Tim Allen has had a more enduring cultural influence than most entertainers. His characters have become iconic in American entertainment history. From his breakthrough performance as Tim the Toolman Taylor on Home Improvement, to his voice acting as Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story. In addition to dominating TV ratings in the 1990s, Home Improvement contributed to redefining sitcoms by fusing excessive physical humor with traditional family values. In the meantime, Buzz Lightyear became one of the most recognizable animated characters ever, and Toy Story transformed animation. Decades later, Allen's beloved Christmas classic, The Santa Claus, is still a holiday mainstay. For over 30 years, his distinct ability to strike a mix of humor and moving storytelling has kept audiences interested. Beyond his personal endeavors, he's influenced comedy in general, inspiring other stand-up comedians who value his incisive wit and approachable humor. Allen's impact on pop culture is indisputable. He's delighted audiences of all ages, and his reach is still growing, whether through stand-up, TV, or movies. Legacy in comedy. It's impossible to overlook Tim Allen's influence on humor. He developed a career based on observational humor that appealed to middle-class Americans. Beginning as a stand-up comic in Detroit, he stood out for his style of comedy, which combines slapstick, sarcasm, and everyday frustrations. Allen has always concentrated on storytelling, utilizing humor to explore relevant parts of life, unlike other comedians who rely on shock value or profanity. While Last Man Standing demonstrated that his humorous style could be updated for the present era, Home Improvement solidified his place as one of the funniest TV dads ever. Numerous comedians have modeled their approaches after his fusion of observational and physical humor, demonstrating his influence. More significantly, Allen's dedication to free speech in comedy has elevated him to a position of resistance against a field that places a greater emphasis on political correctness. Whether you like Allen or not, his reputation as a comic is undeniable. He is and always will be a master of his trade. Recent projects. Tim Allen is still as active as ever, despite the shifting Hollywood landscape. He played Scott Calvin again in 2022 in the Santa Clauses, a Disney Plus series that revives the cherished Santa Claus franchise. His comeback was warmly received by fans, demonstrating the continued cultural significance of his characters. Allen still does stand-up, selling out theaters nationwide with his unrestrained humor. His career will continue to be as active as ever with his impending film and television appearances. Unlike many actors who drift into obscurity after their heyday, Allen stays current while staying loyal to his humorous origins. His references to future projects with old friend Richard Karn have sparked rumors of a potential Home Improvement reunion project. Allen demonstrates that there's still space for traditional humor in a field keen to move on from tradition, whether through daring new ventures or nostalgia-driven revivals. What's next for Tim Allen? One thing is clear as Hollywood keeps changing, Tim Allen isn't going anywhere. Allen's future is still bright because of his thriving stand-up career, upcoming TV and movie ventures, and a devoted following. It wouldn't be shocking to see him take on even more politically sensitive material, given his outspoken character, further defying Hollywood's progressive conventions. Whether it's another Santa Claus film, a new sitcom, or maybe a surprise comeback as Buzz Lightyear in upcoming Toy Story ventures, fans are excitedly anticipating what's coming next. Allen has been at the vanguard of entertainment for decades because of his ability to adapt while remaining loyal to himself, even in the face of criticism from those in the business. His career proves that talent and genuineness can endure beyond fads in Hollywood. History has taught us that Tim Allen never fails to surprise us, and his next move will undoubtedly be remembered. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon